Did you know that if you took the entire population of Rhode Island and spread them out evenly across the state, you'd find a person every 164 feet in any direction? That's right. In America's smallest state, you're never far from a neighbor. But why does this tiny state, barely a speck on the map, have so many people packed into it? When you think of Rhode Island, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture quaint New England towns, or perhaps you're drawing a blank, wondering if it's even a real place. Well, let me tell you, this little state is not only real, but it's also packed with more history, culture, and people per square mile than you might expect. Let's start with some basics. Rhode Island, officially known as the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, is the smallest state in the United States, covering just 1,214 square miles. You could fit Rhode Island into Texas about 220 times. But don't let its size fool you. This tiny state is home to over 1 million people, making it the second most densely populated state in the country, right behind New Jersey. Now, you might be wondering, how did so many people end up in such a small place? Well, that's a story that goes back centuries. Our tale begins over 11,000 years ago when the first Paleo-Indians arrived in what would become Rhode Island. These early settlers were drawn to the area's abundant resources and favorable climate. Fast forward to the 1500s, and we see the first European explorer, Giovanni da Verrazzano, sailing by and noting the area's similarity to the Greek island of Rhodes. Little did he know, this observation would give the state its future name. However, the real pivotal moment in Rhode Island's history came in 1636 when a man named Roger Williams founded the first European settlement in the area. Now, Williams wasn't your average colonist. He was a Puritan minister with some pretty radical ideas for his time. He believed in religious freedom and the separation of church and state, concepts that didn't sit well with the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Williams purchased land from the Narragansett people and established Providence plantations. This new settlement became a haven for religious dissenters and others seeking freedom from persecution. It's like William hung up a sign saying, "Come one, come all." And come they did. This principle of religious liberty became the cornerstone of Rhode Island's identity. It attracted a diverse group of settlers, each bringing their own beliefs, cultures, and traditions. This diversity laid the foundation for the vibrant, multicultural society that Rhode Island is known for today. But Rhode Island's appeal wasn't just about religious freedom. Its strategic location along the Atlantic coast made it a prime spot for trade and commerce. The state's two major ports, Newport and Providence, became economic activity centers. Ships from all over the world docked in Rhode Island, bringing goods, wealth, and, of course, more people. As Rhode Island grew and prospered, it also developed a fierce independent streak. In fact, this tiny colony was the first to declare independence from Great Britain on May 4th, 1776, a full 2 months before the other colonies. Why the rush? Well, Rhode Island had a lot to lose from British taxation, especially when it came to sugar taxes. With their thriving ports and bustling trade, Rhode Islanders weren't about to let the British take a bigger slice of their hard-earned pie. But here's where it gets interesting. While Rhode Island was quick to break ties with Britain, it was actually the last of the original 13 colonies to ratify the U.S. Constitution in 1790. Talk about playing hard to get. This cautious approach shows that Rhode Islanders have always been thoughtful about their place in the larger picture, a trait that continues to this day. Now, let's fast forward to the 19th century. The Industrial Revolution hit Rhode Island like a tidal wave, transforming this little state into a manufacturing powerhouse. The Blackstone River, which runs through the state, became known as the birthplace of the American Industrial Revolution. Textile mills, jewelry factories, and other industries sprung up along its banks, drawing workers from far and wide. This industrious boom led to a significant population increase. Immigrants from Ireland, Italy, Portugal, and other countries flocked to Rhode Island, seeking job opportunities and a better life. These newcomers didn't just bring their labor. They brought their cultures, traditions, and cuisines, further enriching Rhode Island's already diverse tapestry. Speaking of immigrants, did you know that Rhode Island has one of the highest concentrations of people with Portuguese ancestry in the United States? That's right. Starting in the late 19th century, waves of Portuguese immigrants, many from Azores and Cape Verde, made their way to Rhode Island. They left an indelible mark on the state's culture, influencing everything from the local cuisine to the fishing industry. Today, you can still feel the Portuguese influence strongly in cities like East Providence and Bristol. The annual Bristol 4th of July parade, the oldest continuous 4th of July celebration in the United States, is a perfect example of how these cultural traditions have become woven into the fabric of Rhode Island life. Despite its small size, Rhode Island is strategically situated in the heart of New England. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from major metropolitan areas like Boston and New York City. Imagine being able to enjoy the peace and charm of small-town living while having easy access to big city amenities. That's the Rhode Island lifestyle in a nutshell. You can start your day with a quiet walk on the beach, drive an hour to catch a Red Sox game in Boston, and still be home in time for a late-night coffee milk, the official state drink, by the way. One of Rhode Island's biggest draws is its coastline. Despite being the smallest state, Rhode Island boasts an impressive 400 miles of coastline. That's right, 400 miles. The state's nickname, the Ocean State, is no exaggeration. From the historic mansions and cliff walk of Newport to the surf-friendly waves of Narragansett, Rhode Island's beaches offer something for everyone. And the best part? No matter where you are in the state, you're never more than a 30-mile drive from the ocean. For many Rhode Islanders, spontaneous beach trips are a way of life. But it's not just about the beaches. Rhode Island's coastal location has fostered a strong maritime culture. The state is a haven for boating enthusiasts, with marinas dotting the coastline and sailing races being a common weekend activity. The annual Newport Jazz Festival, held on the grounds of Fort Adams State Park, with the harbor as a backdrop, is a perfect example of how Rhode Island's coastal beauty enhances its cultural offerings. Another factor drawing people to Rhode Island is its exceptional educational landscape. The state is home to Brown University, an Ivy League institution that's been shaping minds since 1764. But it's not just Brown. Rhode Island School of Design, RISD, Providence College, and the University of Rhode Island are just a few of the other prestigious institutions calling the Ocean State home. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, or should we say the crowd in the state. Despite all these attractive features, Rhode Island's population growth has actually been relatively slow in recent years. From 2022 to 2023, the state gained only about 2,120 people, according to U.S. Census Bureau estimates. Interestingly, the growth wasn't evenly distributed. Providence County, which includes the state's capital and largest city, saw the biggest increase, while other counties like Newport actually lost population. One key factor in Rhode Island's population dynamics is immigration. The state gained nearly 5,800 people from foreign countries between 2022 and 2023. This influx of international residents helps offset losses from people moving to other parts of the United States and contributes to the state's cultural diversity.